and you have your own, you're already practicing, you save some money or you have family money, I don't think it's practically possible for you to build a hospital in the next 3 years. And someone said he wants to expand his business in 5 years, and he has not already started that business. And someone said she wants to be an actor. So whatever you want to be, I want you to think about where you want to be in long term, where you want to be 3 years, where you want to be 5 years. Where you want to be long term, where you want to be in 3 years, where you want to be in 5 years. Whatever you want to be starts from your mind, and you need to start making that mindset shift now. So that includes the kind of content that you consume online. It includes the kind of people that you follow on social media. It includes the type of friends that you keep around. So you need to really watch what gets into your mind. And so if you want to be an actor, then I assume that you should be following people who are successful in that field by consuming their content, by learning how they've been able to do it. If you want to build a business in 5 years, you narrow down the type of business you want to build and follow someone who has achieved a level of success in that particular business. Study what they have been able to do. And these days, it's quite difficult for you to get people to mentor you physically. But because of social media, because of internet, you can get people to mentor you virtually by consuming their content. They may not have time, their schedules may be so busy, but if you follow them, you consume their content, you see what is it that actually have made them successful, then that way you can copy whatever their successes are. So that's the first thing that you need to do by changing your mindset. And then the second thing is that you have to set goals. In terms of setting goals, and this will also apply for me drawing from the 3 people that spoke to us. If you want to start a business in 5 years, then you have to set a goal. So probably your goal would be, long-term goal would be to build your business in 5 years. But what are short-term goals? Because your short-term goals are the things that will guide you in achieving your long-term goals. So if you want to build a business empire in 5 years, then now you should probably, you've concluded your school, you should probably intern somewhere, you should probably get certified in that particular business, you should probably take on courses that will help you, and those are short-term goals that will accumulate into your long-term goals. And whatever goals that you set for yourself has to be SMART. Does anyone know what SMART goals are? Alright, so SMART goals, S-M-A-R-T, is your goals. They have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be attainable, they have to be relevant, and they have to be time-bound. So if you say that you want to build a hospital in 3 years, that is not attainable. But if you set a goal and say that probably in 5 years, I'd like to be a nurse. So it's time-bound, it's relevant, it's specific, and it's attainable. So that's important. Make sure that the goals that you set for yourself is always very attainable. And it also helps that you have people that will hold you accountable. People, probably it could be your friend, it could be your parents, it could be your sibling, people that you trust and you hold in high regard. Let them hold you at 10. So you tell them your goals and you say, I want to achieve this goal. And they will be the people who remind you whenever you are slacking and say, what are you doing in terms of achieving this goal? And for me, I've got a lot of people like that, a lot of other entrepreneurs that I can bounce ideas off of and say, okay, we want to do this thing, we want to move entrepreneurs.ng to this level. And then probably when we slack and they call up and say, hey, Flo, what are you doing? You're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. So you need friends like that, and that's why I did mention initially that the people you keep around you is very important, and you have to be make conscious efforts that you have the right people around you all the time. Then the next thing that we're going to talk about is financial literacy. Financial literacy is very, very important. So because whatever you want to achieve now, you need money to be able to do it. So it does not matter how much you earn. If you cannot save with just little, it's also going to be very difficult for you to save when you have much. And I'm going to tell you a story of how I started. When I was like most of you in the uni, I remember then that my dad would give us pocket money of 7,000 naira, and this was like 14 years ago. And in that money, I really consumed a lot of financial content as I was growing up, even in high school. So if I was given 7,000 naira after paying my tithe, I practically would save 3,000 naira out of that money. And that is, it may not seem very feasible for some of you, but it's doable. And this is because you need to be very frugal. You need to cut out some things that are irrelevant because of the future that you want. And now I didn't just save this money. And remember, I did tell you that I was consuming a lot of financial content. I knew that saving money was also not just the best thing to do. You have to learn how to make sure that your money is working for you. So from saving that money to the point where it becomes tangible, I started investing the money. So I started, first of all, through treasury bills. I started investing in smaller businesses. I had enough capital to buy money from Usoka then where I stood. Then I go to Aba and resell it. So it's because I had the capital to start doing that, and then you save. So it's important that you learn financial literacy. It's important that you learn that whatever that you make, you should not spend every single thing you make. Make sure that you always have a reserve. And saving is not just enough. You also need to learn how to invest. Now, I've got a friend who is quite really talented. Her name is Oluwatosin Olasinde. She owns Money Africa. So for all of you who have smartphones, make sure you follow Money Africa. You will learn a lot about your finances and how to be very prudent with the resources that you have. So that's very important. So the next thing I want to talk about is I need you to know that entrepreneurship is not for everyone. So, and you can imagine and say, how can someone who practically lives and teaches entrepreneurship tell you that entrepreneurship is not for everyone? It is really true. There are different ways that you can create wealth. You can make money, like I said, if you're earning well and you invest, your money can work for you. And entrepreneurship is not half or even quarter as glamorous as it's being portrayed on social media. So it's important that you don't put yourself under any kind of pressure. If you want to go into entrepreneurship, then you have to go with your mind prepared and say, this is what I want to do. But if your goal is to create wealth, there are different ways you can create wealth. You can invest in other people's businesses. You can invest. You can do real estate. You mustn't go and start business. Okay? So if you then want to go into entrepreneurship, the next slide, there are 4 ways to venture into entrepreneurship. So you can start your entrepreneurship journey by starting a business. So when you start a business, you can run this business yourself or get someone to run it for you. So this way you don't have to really invest all of your time into the business. The second way to go into entrepreneurship is you starting a scalable startup. Startups are all the companies that you see that can scale flutterwaves, companies that you sit, you can use, and every other person can use it. They are scaled with technology. Then the fourth way to go into entrepreneurship is social entrepreneurship. So you identify a problem in your environment, and then you come up with solutions to solve that problem. And then the fourth way, which is really important, and is important that you also learn that it is feasible, is through intrapreneurship. So this is where you work in a company and you have an idea, and then you can pitch your idea, and then the management says, okay, run with this idea, and then you become an entrepreneur. And depending on your negotiation skills, you can actually own a certain percentage of the profits that comes from that business. So that's the 4 ways that you can venture into entrepreneurship. Now, I also want to talk about the next slide. I want to talk about that entrepreneurship is different from trading or self-employment. There are people who are serial traders, and if you ask them, they say they are entrepreneurs. So if you start an electronic shop, you start the next electronic shop, it's not going well, you start a clothing business, you are simply a trader. If you have a skill and you are just going about marketing that and selling it just yourself, you are self-employed. Entrepreneurship is different from all of these things. Entrepreneurship is about solving a problem. You see a problem, and then you come up with solutions on how to solve that problem. So for instance, what is the problem that we are solving with Redalia Workspaces? We all know that power and internet is a challenge in Nigeria. That is what we are providing for entrepreneurs. We also know that the right resource, what young folks like you have now, is gossip, entertainment. We know that the right business knowledge to really start and scale your business is a challenge in Nigeria. And that is the problem that we are solving with entrepreneurs.ng. So you go out there, you find a problem, you find people who have that problem, you find people who have a pain, you find people who have a problem that you know you can solve. You come up with your solution. And you don't just come up with your solution by just sitting behind your laptop. You step out of the building, because that's what the lean model technology tells you. You go out and you meet with them and you say, I've got this solution. Will you be willing to pay for this solution? Will you be willing to bring out your purse? Will you be willing to bring out your wallet and pay me in exchange for this solution that I'm going to offer you? And when you get people who are willing to pay you for that solution, then that's when you know you are in business. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. And if you're going to do entrepreneurship, it takes a lot of grit. It takes resilience. It takes self-deprivation. I'm also going to tell you a story. When I came to Lagos in 2016 to start Redalia Workspaces, it was that year when the first dollar skyrocketed. We've already made plans. The gem we are going to buy, even before I came in, was going to cost us 2 million. But when we now came, it was costing 6 million. I didn't have that money. But then a lot of things had to go. For instance, I could easily walk to Mama Cass and buy 1,000 naira food. I couldn't afford to do that anymore. So I was eating Mama Put all the time. And then this Mama Put is not even the one that you eat with meat. I wasn't buying meat because I could not afford to. Not that I didn't have the money to, but if I ever buy meat, it means that the money to buy the gen is not going to be complete. I didn't know how, or any shop that sells new clothes. I just came in with the clothes that I had, and I had to wear those same clothes for more than a year before I had to travel again. And that is what deprivation is. And then for some people may see you, which they actually did, and they say, Flozy, what's wrong with you? Why are you wearing one shoe for 1 year? It's not supposed to make you angry or supposed to make you let your self-confidence go away. No. You already know where you are going. And now those things are stories because you've got to do them. So entrepreneurship is you depriving yourself now for future rewards. So it's going to take a lot out of you. There are many times that you're going to wake up and you feel tired. You don't even know if you should go on or not. But at such times, because you believe in what you are doing, because you are not just going into it for the money, you still wake up again, you put on your makeup and you go out there and you smile, even though you don't know the reason why you are smiling. So it's important that we understand the work that you need to put in to be able to be a successful entrepreneur. Sometimes if you get into it and it becomes difficult, there's also nothing wrong with you stepping back, getting a 9 to 5 and getting your group back before you step in back into entrepreneurship. And this is me keeping it real with you, telling you that it demands a lot of work, and if you're willing to put in the work, then you're going to be successful at it. Okay? And then how do we support entrepreneurs? We support through our platform, entrepreneurs.ng. So like I said, we have free and paid resources that can help you start your businesses. And this thing, we've been at it for more than 7 years. We will not say that we've seen it all, but we understand the challenges that entrepreneurs face, and we come up with solutions that will help them. For instance, for any type of business that you want to start, we actually have done the research and you can get it off the shelf in our shop. And then the next one is through our YouTube channel. Most of the content that we have on our platform, we have repurposed into video content. So for some people who prefer to watch videos, you can also go watch the videos and learn how you can do better and start your business. You subscribe to the channel so that once we publish new content daily, you'll be the first person to get those content. Okay? And then we have our books, like I said. Next one. Alright, so practically, and then other solutions. We hold entrepreneurs, we hold their hands and make sure that they are starting their businesses right. So I'm going to take, am I allowed to, do I still have time to take questions? Alright, so thank you so much for listening to me, and